Okay, so hello everybody. Shout out to Bev who requested more details on how to use this ruling pen, and I use this ruling pen to create all sorts of paintings where I emphasize on hard edges and want to get those crisp, sharp lines, and it's a really versatile tool. It's been available for a very long time. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's kind of rare to find someone who uses it these days with the new technology and the new tools. But yeah, let's have a look and see how we can use this. And the first step is to make sure your pen is clean. Get some paint, just any paint really. I just got any opaque paint, acrylic paint. Got a container, a mixing stick, some tissue paper here, and also some water. So I've got the water here, and I've got some tissue paper that we will also use. So these are the tools that we really need, and of course, to start with, take this piece of paper as scrap paper to try our lines and to just test the consistency of the paint, and let's get going. So my first step would be to get some paint in the small container. Not much, just I would say maybe, yeah, just the size of a fingernail or something like that. The first trick we need to understand is when you add water, you really try to add very little at a time. Okay, so no need to, that's too much actually, but here we go. And then we start mixing very slowly with the stick. Okay, keep mixing. You want to make sure that you have no lumps left in the paint, and I would say you'd need to be mixing between 30 seconds and a minute and a half or something like that. It all depends on the paint, it depends on a lot of other factors really. But as you can see, I've reached this yogurt like consistency or cream like consistency, which is a bit thick, I would say, for our application. I mean, you could always try to use the ruling pen with this kind of thickness and it worked at first, but the actual idea is that it won't have enough fluency and it won't flow as much. So if we find it as thick, then we need to add more water. Again, just a drop or two. Mix it again. You have to mix thoroughly. It's just a little bit thicker than milk, than the consistency of milk. Okay, so what I like to do is, let's get the paper here. What I like to do is, you see, the more this screw controls the thickness of the line. So if you tighten it, it's supposed to give a thinner line. If you loose it a bit, it gives a thicker line. So what I like to do is just open it midway really and dip it into my ink or my paint. And what we could do is, or what we want to do, is just wipe the excess as you can see, and then tighten it a bit. So let's see. The first test, I like to start from the top. If you're right-handed, it's always better to start top left. If you're left-handed, then you start top right, and that way, you know, you rest your arm, or there's no risk of you smudging whatever you painted. Okay, so far so good. As you can see, it's quite sharp. See if we can get a thicker line. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so how can we achieve straight lines? Well, the answer to that needs a ruler that sits a bit above the paper. So this one's got like a cork backing, so this is very important for the ink not to seep through. And here you go. So when you see that it's cutting through, or it's not continuous, this means that it actually needs a bit more water, because the ink or the paint is not flowing, you know, in the right consistency. So this means that I go back to my, how do I clean it? So I put a jar, put some water in the jar, and then I just rinse it. Dry it. Make sure you dry it with the towel, and that's about it. So now let's make this a bit lighter. Again, mix, mix, mix. Give it a mix. Okay, it's a bit runny, so let's see. Okay, let's see. So reload it, clean the excess. Let's have a look. Yeah, this is very good. So as I said, we need to tighten it up a bit so it gives you narrower lines. There you go. So what is this used for? So to clean it, we just need to loosen it up a bit, rinse it in water, then try it again. Okay, so what applications do we need it for? Well, let's say we've got a geometric shape. So let's say that we have something similar to a square, and I hope you're seeing the lines. So let's say we have something like this, and you want to paint inside of it. So what we do is, again, reload our rolling pen, and we make sure that the ruler is just on that line. And here you go. You've got these very sharp, very crisp lines. And let's turn this around. There you go. Okay. We rinse, clean, and then with a brush, I could just paint within the shape, and it gives me this hard edge, crisp. Painting technique that I don't otherwise get with a brush on its own. Okay. You have to be careful at the edges, of course, and you know, the thicker the line you have, the easier it becomes. So here you go. That's how you create hard edges or sharp lines with acrylic paint, with acrylic ink. And yeah, enjoy painting. Okay.